Now, just a little warning before we begin. There will be major spoilers in this video for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want anything from this movie ruined, it is a good time to click away.
Honestly, you shouldn't even be on YouTube if you don't want this movie spoiled, because there were leaks like
days ago. Yeah.
Horrible. Thankfully, we dodged them.
Yeah, we did, by dodging the internet mainly, as best you can in today's world. But anyway, what did you think of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness?
I think there are some definite successes in the movie. I also think there were some failures.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion. Overall, I enjoyed it, but there were a lot of things in there that I didn't like.
Wow. Interesting. Though that said, I do agree there were interesting choices in this film. But overall, I liked it quite a bit.
Yes. Yeah. Let's go with that.
Okay. So what are some of the issues you had with it?
Some of the issues I had with it.
Yeah, let's start there. What was your biggest gripe about this film?
Scarlet Witch.
Interesting. Why so?
I think my problem was that I really like Scarlet Witch, but they decided she was going to be corrupted by the Darkhold.
Yeah.
Which makes the Darkhold the villain, technically.
Kind of.
Because it corrupted her. Or else she wouldn't have done any of that.
Well, I mean, maybe.
After the emotional damage she had in her series, and the things that she did, and
I think she deserves to be a villain after that, right? I mean, she did some pretty horrible things.
I don't think she deserves to be a villain. Well, I think they could have helped her along her redemption arc. Her redemption and self-healing. Instead, they're like, nah, let's lean into it. She's a bad guy. Let's get rid of her.
Well, we don't know that she's dead. Let's be honest. She's probably not dead.
I really hope not.
But, I mean, she did do some pretty horrible things. I mean, she's controlled an entire town of people and kind of tortured them for days, if not weeks on end.
But even Strange kind of had come to terms and...
Had he, or did he just need her help? I don't know
probably
that.
Both. I mean, he did say, but at the same time, that she tried to do the right thing at the end.
Well,
when she was back in control of herself. Well,
sure, but you still need somebody's help. You're not going to go and accuse them of remind them of all these horrible things and say, I think you're guilty and all these things. You're going to try to... you're going to try to sweet talk her a little, and that's what I hope he was doing, because I would imagine he has to have some issues with what she did.
Right, but I still have a lot of sympathy for her. She wasn't in control when she was doing those things either.
Well, you can still have sympathy, but that doesn't mean the person... I mean, your sympathy doesn't erase their wrongdoing.
Right, but she wasn't a bad person. It was something she could not control, and when she did realize what was happening, she fixed it.
Okay, yeah. But I'm all for redemption. I mean, I love Star Wars. Star Wars is about redemption. So I believe people make mistakes and second chances are required. And
then in this movie, they just decided to just follow the dark side there. And, well, now she's corrupted by the Darkhold in her desperation to find what she's missing. So, I mean, I was upset that they took a character that I love and instead of helping her along the path to start seeking, redemption and righting what was wrong and coming to terms with her reality, they decided to just throw her down the rabbit hole and see if she bounces.
Well, part of the problem with that, is you have to keep in mind not everybody has seen WandaVision, so the idea that this would be an entire redemption story from a story a lot of people may not have seen, I think they were just trying to keep throwing her down the rabbit hole to make her, okay, now everybody gets to see she's a villain, whether or not you watched WandaVision or not.
But at the same time, if you didn't watch WandaVision, you don't understand how come she's so desperate to find these kids.
Well, they try to. No, I definitely don't think you grasp the entirety of it. But I mean, They do try to give you an idea of what happened.
I mean, she became the Scarlet Witch in that show.
Yeah. I mean, it's tricky because I don't want.
And apparently
it is borderline required viewing. Yeah. WandaVision is borderline required viewing for this. I mean, if not, it is required viewing.
I was waiting for Vision to show back up and.
I thought there was a chance of in another universe, he might be the solution. Because the theme was kind of
another universe. Vision exists within our universe. He has the memories.
Well, sure. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, kind of the theme was love is kind of, are you happy? Are you loved kind of idea. So I did kind of think Vision might be involved in the answer, whether that be like a real Vision and another. I kind of thought she would go to another universe and see, Wanda and maybe like a real Vision, not Vision, but a real human, kind of with these other,
even if
it was Vision, but I thought that's what she would see, and that's kind of what brings her back in the end, though she has to be kind of bluntly showing that, and the other Wanda has to explain it to her, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
I
didn't
let go. Yeah.
I didn't really have a problem with Wanda being the villain or the Darkhold being the villain behind Wanda's villainry.
Right. It was just a little strange.
Is that a pun?
Could be.
It is a pun.
All right. So what else did I not like? I didn't like the music battle.
You thought that was a little odd?
Oh, a little hokey.
Okay.
I mean, they're both sorcerers. Why are they just continuously using the same magic back and forth to each other?
It's a good question.
I mean, he was doing stuff earlier where he was like using some sort of like dimensional being magic to summon a monster to like stop that flying car that was flying into somebody.
Pretty cool, yeah.
He summoned like demon-y hands. He summoned the Hydra snake thingy. And he's just like, maybe against this guy I'm going to do a rap battle.
Epic rap battles of history.
Well, I understand that Doctor Strange, he had a piano and everything. He obviously used to play. He probably enjoys music quite a bit.
Yeah.
But then they're just going to make music back and forth at each other. I thought that could have been a better fight.
Well, we do know he enjoys music quite a bit. Remember the first Doctor Strange? He's, remembering
yeah.
years and where
Years
they
of
charted.
songs and where they come from.
Well, with his photographic memory, essentially. But yeah. So he does have an appreciation of music. So maybe he just thought, they both were like, hey, let's have a music battle. Why not? No,
Still
I agree.
awkward.
It was a little. It was kind of cool to see, but it kind of does feel a little cheesy, maybe. I guess.
Yeah. I was getting that. I also wasn't sure how I like their handling of the Illuminati.
I would agree with this. This would be one of my gripes, but maybe for a different reason.
I mean, I get it. They're a different universe. That doesn't mean those people can't exist in 616.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, some of them did exist in 616. I mean, Mordo still somewhere in 616.
Monica Rambeau is in
doing stuff.
616.
Yeah, well, but she's not Captain Marvel.
No, not yet.
Charles Xavier, I wonder where he is in 616. We have not heard tales of him yet either.
I was wondering if we would have any other X-Men clues in this, and we really didn't.
No.
Not a single one.
Well, clearly mutants existed in that universe.
Well, yeah.
Because Charles Xavier was there with his powers in his chair. It's the guy in the chair.
He's my chair guy, yeah.
Black Bolt. Very cool.
Oh, that was brutal watching it.
I couldn't stand that. I couldn't stand how she just like peeled through them all.
No, she only peeled through Black Bolt and Mr. Fantastic. The other two put up a fight, actually. Captain Britain and our new Monica Rambeau version of Captain Marvel.
And see, that's what I didn't like too. If the smartest man on the world, as they called our Mr. Fantastic, which I loved seeing him.
Oh, I know.
Absolutely loved seeing him in that role. I'm a huge Office fan. I liked him in Jack Ryan.
Yeah, he was the newest edition of Jack Ryan on one of the streaming
I liked
services.
him in Jack Ryan, Amazon.
Yeah,
liked him in Jack Ryan as well. And then it's like, oh, smartest man in the universe, and he's going to tell you how Black Bolt will kill you.
Well,
right? Oh, Black Bolt could kill you with a whisper. Okay, I'll take his mouth away.
Well, that's also...
shouldn't have... She's not,
Sure.
He could have not said that.
Sure, but that's also kind of a wink and a nod. Well, not a wink and a nod, but it's kind of an explanation for the audience who doesn't know who Black Bolt is and how he works.
But the audience, we saw it. We saw it in the image from Charles Xavier that Black Bolt...
You're right, which I think would have been enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you might have watched
said before that you're lucky he doesn't speak or something, and then we saw him in the vision.
You might have watched the amazing ABC series about the Inhumans as well.
Don't talk.
Nobody talks about that. I'm sorry.
No. But I mean, so he told Wanda how Black Bolt would defeat him, and so that was brutal. And then she literally just peeled Mr. Fantastic apart.
Yeah.
It was just hard. I feel like she was taking it easy on Captain Britain.
Well, it's always strange when, like, it kind of reminded me of coming to arrest Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, where it's like, okay, we got 4 of them, and we only got limited amount of time, so we have to immediately, just easily take out 2 of them. That, let's be honest, that's kind of like, they should have put up a little bit more of a fight.
I like that Mr. Fantastic did make reference to his kids.
He did, and his wife.
To Franklin, yeah.
So is Emily Blunt going to be... I mean, this is a pure fan cast. I've heard about John Krasinski. I don't know. I always think of him as, from The Office. But Jim from The Office, yes. But, I mean, that's been a fan casting for I don't even know how long.
So long.
Everybody's been wanting to see this, so...
In the Fantastic Four movie they're going to make, he will most likely...
I mean, I would say
he's... I mean, it's a multiverse version, but it would still be the same person, so I don't see why not. I really do hope that we... Yeah, there's no way they don't cast it.
Of course they would. Why would they bring
our
him in?
audience was like, yeah!
Yeah, that was the biggest clap out of our audience.
Well, as soon as you saw him and everyone's like, yeah! Mr. Fantastic.
But honestly, that would almost be one of my gripes, is that they decided to bring in the Illuminati and really didn't need to. Did they really need to bring them in? And
just to kill them all?
It was just kind of this little cameo fest, and it's cool. I have a love-hate relationship with cameos and fan service. It's one of those things that's tricky. Sometimes I think it goes really well, sometimes I think it goes wrong. And to me, it's like, okay, so it's all these characters. It's, Charles Xavier, and they even had the little hint of the X-Men music, and so it is cool. Yet at the same time, you just brought them in all to kind of die. And do they really? If you take that out and do something else with that time, is the story any better or is it any worse? This is the question.
Well, and then the funny thing is the one who actually defeated Scarlet Witch was herself.
Yeah.
Nobody else could beat her except her.
You roll your eyes at that.
It's just kind of hokey. I mean, they made her way, 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 way too powerful.
You think so? She is powerful.
She is, but I don't know. I guess the only one at that point who could defeat her is herself. But
I mean, she can manipulate reality
I just didn't
itself.
want her to even be the villain in this.
I think that's your problem. I think you had expectations, or you had ideas going in that she wasn't that it was going to be like a buddy cop with her and Doctor Strange going through the multiverse.
I didn't think it was going to be a buddy cop exactly, but I didn't think she was going to have this big of a role in it, to be honest.
No, she was the main villain. Mm-hmm. Her and the Darkhold again, making her do it, and making Doctor Strange grow a third eye, and who knows what's going to happen with him now.
He's had a third eye several times in the comic books. It's just a thing. We're okay with the third eye. I did like I liked America Chavez as well. I thought she did a good job.
Yeah, I thought so too. I know.
Good actress. I mean, I believed her in the role. No complaints.
No, and she kind of actually does help defeat Wanda in the end.
Does help. And I thought that was a nice companion for Strange.
He works well with the Peter Parker, the younger,
he gets a very protective side, which you wouldn't honestly expect out of him. 100%.
He's afraid. He admits it himself. He's just afraid. It's hard,
But the exterior he presents is someone who is like, kids, That's kind of the impression you get. And then just the way he interacted with her and everything and how protective he was really nice to see. So I liked their on-screen duo-ness. It was nice. Loved Wong's new outfit. I know.
Wong's always great. I don't know.
Wong is always great. I love Wong. But I really liked the new costume he had, the purples with the yellow. It was real nice, sharp. Then there was that post-credit scene. Not the one with Bruce Campbell hitting himself.
Yeah, that's the post-credit scene.
Post. But the regular post with Clea. Really enjoyed that. Glad they're bringing Clea in so that love can bloom for Strange again.
Yeah, I had no idea what the post-credit. I know it's been ruined like a lot of things with this one, but I had no idea. But wasn't surprised considering that was kind of the themes. Are you happy? And about love. And so, of course, we bring in a future.
Well, Clea in the comic books
becomes his wife.
Yeah, they get married in the Dark Dimension. Because
why not?
She has ties to the Dark Dimension.
Is there anywhere more romantic than the Dark Dimension?
Well, she actually has ties to the Dark Dimension and
Dormammu, I come to get married. Dormammu, I come to get married.
So it was cool that when she cut that rift open, it literally was the Dark Dimension you could see on the other side. The costume was nice.
She looked good. It was Charlize there. I couldn't place her at first. I'm like, why does she look so familiar? And then...
Well, and they're going to fix some of the incursion problems that Strange caused going through the multiverse in the first place.
Yeah.
Which is cool because there was a comic line, it's probably 5 to 7 years ago now,
probably even
about
more than
the
that,
multiverse, the universe is literally having these incursions and running into each other, and it ended up in like Battle World or something.
Yeah,
It was a while ago. I haven't read that one in a while, so.
Yeah, that was like the Secret Avengers. No, what was it called?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was almost 10 years ago now.
But it was a big thing, so I'm like, oh, well, it's cool that they brought that in. I liked that they named the universe 616, which we all knew, but...
Well, is it though? I mean, the comic universe is 616, so I'm almost a little surprised they call it 616.
Yeah, why did they call it 616?
Yeah, I was actually one of my little pet peeve gripes, because the comic... That you're almost implying that the comic universe doesn't exist, because this is that universe. I always thought that the comic universe would just be another branch of the multiverse. Yeah.
Well, it even looked like when they flew through that cartoon universe, I was briefly reminded of the Sony Into the Spider-Verse
I know,
series.
that's what I thought too.
Nice.
I was waiting to see the pig Spider-Man. I can't remember his name.
Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham, yes. How could I forget? But no, I mean, it is kind of an odd nod to that as well. When you got like paint universes and cartoon universes, like I guess that means like that's part of the multiverse, right? It's all part of the multiverse. I mean, if there's an infinite number of them, then everything technically has to be, because everything would happen somewhere at some point. Anyway, any things you really enjoyed about it? Since we are talking about our kind of
I always
gripes.
enjoy the visuals. I enjoyed the casting choices for the Illuminati. I enjoyed the Illuminati for the 5 minutes they were alive.
There was really no casting choices. They're all like, were kind of known characters except for Mr. Fantastic. They were all previously.
But they didn't have to even put those people in as the Illuminati.
Sure.
They could have been like, here, look, it's Tony Stark of this universe, or here's Ultron Prime, or
it's Namor. Yeah.
Here's Namor. I mean, he was
no Tom Cruise, Tony Stark. Yeah, that was the big. That was one of the big rumors I actually did hear.
So I mean, they didn't have to choose those characters to be the Illuminati, because that group has varied up over the years.
Yeah.
I wasn't thrilled with the music either.
Really?
Well, I really wanted them to use Doctor Strange's original theme.
There were hints of it.
Just slight hints. I mean, they used Danny Elfman this time, and he didn't compose that original theme either.
But I like Danny Elfman. He's from the original Spider-Man trilogy.
Well, I have no problems with Danny Elfman, but it's
Sam
not
Raimi,
the same music.
So no surprise there.
Yeah.
Little creepy, weird Sam Raimi.
Why are you calling him creepy weird?
Because he makes creepy and weird movies sometimes. We had Bruce Campbell in there too.
Yeah.
Punching himself for weeks. That's one of those things where I know it's played for a joke, but like imagine if a hero actually did that, make somebody like punch themselves for weeks. And I'm assuming
he's not a bad guy.
Yeah, I'm assuming he didn't actually. There's probably a couple times, but you know, it's always these weird things like that would be like absolute torture.
Where can I get a pizza ball?
Different universe. Probably at Marvel Land or
now.
Disney World or something. I'm sure they're going to be a thing now.
Pizza balls. Flown in from another multiverse.
Flown in? Or
portaled in? I don't know. So this wonders, where are the spin-offs going to go?
Where do we go from here?
Well, a couple of predictions. Will Doctor Strange and Clea get a Disney Plus show together?
Ooh, Benedict
instead of a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that way they could explore a longer-term adventure with those two incursions.
Sure.
Where will Wanda resurface?
Will she resurface?
I really hope so.
I think she will.
I'm really
I don't think
sad.
they killed her there.
America Chavez, where is she going? Will she end up on a Disney Plus show, or
Young Avengers Disney Plus?
Yeah, they all go on the search for her moms?
I don't know.
What? Because that's what we are assuming she's heading to do now, is to go and look for her mothers.
So. Yeah.
And then presumably return them to where they all come from, to home. So why would she come back and be part of the Young Avengers?
Because she wants to be a hero. Why does anybody be a hero?
Can't she be a hero where she's from?
Maybe they don't need her there.
I don't know.
Looked pretty nice where she came from.
It did look really nice where she came from.
I don't know what Earth that was, but they were probably living pretty nice.
It's pretty sweet. Wonder how they dealt with their Thanos.
Killed them with kindness.
They just accepted that half of the universe would be gone.
Maybe that was a Thanos successful universe, and they were living in harmony because Thanos did the snap, and everybody lived happily ever after.
He should have made his snap come with like a proxy. I will snap away half the universe, and the other half won't remember that I did it.
You could have done that. That's the funny thing, is like, you could have done that.
Then people wouldn't know the wiser and would probably just go on with their lives.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what happened in that universe.
Or he just snapped away whole planets. I don't know.
Maybe he just made more resources.
Don't go being a... Yeah. All right, we moving on to the hammer scale?
I guess so, yeah.
10 hammers, what are you doing?
I'm going to go with 8.5 hammers.
You would always have to go with a half.
I feel like that's necessary. No, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I think it's one of those films that the more you would kind of think about it and look at it and try to pick it apart, you could probably find a lot more questionable things and flaws. And like I said, we didn't get into too many of my personal issues with it, but I enjoyed it. But I think there were things, again, the Illuminati it's one of those things where, okay, did you really need to bring them in, or are you just doing that to kind of, is it really just a fan servicey kind of thing? Mm-hmm. Or is, maybe incursions are going to be a big thing going forward with Kang, and I don't know. So it could be the groundwork for something much bigger, certainly, but as it stands right now, it's like, oh, okay, it's just kind of all these cameos, and okay. Some pacing issues, I think, with it as well. You
rated it high for all those complaints.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it.
That's why I'm giving it a 6.
Wow.
I'm very upset with first off, that they did make Disney Plus almost, like you said, required for this.
It is pretty much required for this, yeah.
Right, and that's honestly not fair to general audience.
Well, sure, but I mean...
I did not like that my Scarlet Witch ended on such a bad note, totally corrupted by the Darkhold, and we couldn't think of something else to do rather than just fight her. Yeah, okay. And I really hated that they showed us something really cool in that Illuminati, and they were like, and they were worthless. Even though they're like, we aren't worried about the Scarlet Witch. Oh, okay then. Weren't worried.
Well, they should have been.
For you. Yeah, they should be.
Well, you should be. But I mean...
Why the heck wasn't their Universe's Wanda on the Illuminati if she's so powerful?
I don't know.
Exactly.
But to go back to your required viewing, reading, whatever you want to call it, I mean, that is kind of a part of the MCU anyway. Like, there are movies, like, if you go into Endgame, like, you're pretty much required to know a lot of what's going on in that film, or any of the Avengers movies.
Saying that the other films are required reading?
Is it, though?
Than saying that my subscription service is?
Well, sure, but is there much of a difference between a film and a subscription service?
Yes.
I mean, you're still going to theoretically have to pay for either one. I understand, like, monthly fees versus maybe a one-time viewing, but I don't know. I could certainly see both sides of this argument, because you do want that interconnectivity. You want to know that, WandaVision actually is relevant to the bigger story, and it mattered. Yet at the same time, if I didn't watch WandaVision, I want to go to this and go, what in the world is going on? So it's a hard one, because I think in this particular case, when trying to explain that she had these kids and she, created this hex and this whole other reality, and there's no easy way to summarize that. There's no easy way to kind of explain why she's looking for these children of hers that, were created by her. So I get that, but...
Well, and then Doctor Strange, they weren't real, but the other universes, they're real.
Yeah.
No, they were real. She had to undo them when she undid the hex, just like she had to undo Vision. Well, not real Vision, but then there was a real Vision.
I don't know. I'm going to stick with my 8.5. I understand your problems.
You can stick with your 8.5. I'm not.
All right.
I'm sticking with my 6.
Very well, then.
Maybe I'll like it more after I've ruminated on it more, but currently that's where we stand.
All right, well, I guess that's all we got for you this time. Now, your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you thought of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Are you more of an 8.5, or are you more of a 6, or maybe something else? Whatever the case may be, leave your comment below. Let's talk some Marvel, and until next time, thanks for watching.